All right, we'll start with questions for Coach Silver. First hand up, KVOA, David.
Hey, Coach, previously in some of these late game situations, you guys had struggled to get a good offensive look. What do you think you took away maybe from those missed opportunities that allowed you to be effective and get the outcome here today?
That's not an accurate statement. Could you be specific on what?
Well, the Stanford game, you know, James had struggled to get a good shot in the Stanford game at the end. There was the game on the road at Colorado. You didn't really get a good look. The Oregon game, you guys struggled there at the end to get a good shot at the end of that game. But today it seemed to work for you. The
home game against Colorado?
No, the road game at Colorado, and then the home game against Oregon.
I thought the last shot against Oregon with 1.1 seconds left was actually a really good shot.
What would you like then about today's situation in the last shot today?
Be specific with me.
Well, specifically the final 14 seconds at Oregon at home against Oregon, the 14 seconds before the last shot, you guys really didn't get an opportunity there. You had to take that timeout, and then you had the look with Kerr at the end. Stanford, James had the turnover there on the charge at the end of the game. So,
are you referring to the Stanford game at Stanford?
At Stanford, correct, yes.
I mean, look, at the end of a game, if you can get your all-conference point guard at the rim, block charge, I mean, that's a heck of a deal. I know Zaire Williams on that play did a great job taking away the layup, and we got called for an offensive foul. But straight line drives at the end of the game, that's what happened tonight. I mean, it was a drive and a great pass, and you know, the player has to make the shot. If he didn't make the shot, you know, you could put today's game in that same category. You'd say, hey, you didn't get it done at the end of the game, coach. You know, the play wasn't a good one. You had Azuolas Tubelis in the left corner shooting a three-pointer. By the way, it was a long two to win the game. Like, you have to get a better one than that. And then, you know, the other part about the end of game situations is, you know, a person that doesn't know the game well focuses on offense. Most of the time, the game is won or lost equally on defense. And, you know, against Oregon, one of the things that we didn't do a good job of is we didn't stay on our men. Duarte took a wide open, uncontested shot, not on a set play, but on a broken play, and we overhelped. You know, against Colorado, you know, when a game was about 55 seconds, a minute and 15 seconds, and you have a 3-point lead, you know, you have to really be aware that a 3 ties the game. A 3 ties the game. So you give them a 2. A 2-point shot, you're still down 1. But in that game, again, we overhelped. We gave them a 3. And now it's a tie game instead of Arizona up 1. And up 1, tie game, late game, those are all really, really important factors. But I'm excited that Azuolas made the shot. It was a good pass. And I thought we equally defended the last play. They had the last shot of the game. We didn't. And we defended it. But what we've learned or that we've failed in those close situations, you know, each season represents plays like tonight. Sometimes you make them. Sometimes you don't. Usually the more experienced team you have, the better overall players you have, the more it seems to go your way. But I credit Azuolas and really James because the previous offensive play, he made a 3-pointer. But that's how I saw it today. I wouldn't agree with, you know, that we are a collision course of making bad decisions or haven't been able to win the close calls throughout the year. I'm not as aware of that as you are.
Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star. Justin.
Coach, a career high for James Akinjo. What did you like how he played today? And do you think a game like this really put a stamp on him getting all conference?
James Akinjo, if we didn't have him, we're 17-8. I think we'd be 8-17. Maybe we might be 5-20. That's how much he means to our team. today he dominated the game from our perspective. He's learning how to be a true floor general, but his big heart, his just perseverance, his ability to both score and distribute, the toughness that he displays. I mean, you got to remember he played a 9 p.m. game on Thursday. Our guys walked out of McHale quarter after 12, midnight, and they got COVID tested at 6:30. So they got a good 5.5 hours sleep, no practice, bounce back. James pretty much played the entire game on Thursday, plays the entire game here today. And at the 38-minute mark, he makes a three-pointer. He is definitely an all-conference player. And I don't think I have to even campaign for him, because the peers, my peers, the coaches in this league, when they start with Arizona, they start with him. And he's our heart and soul. And he's had a fantastic season. He really has. And, you know, and I tip my hat to him too, because he didn't have a spring or summer, you know, and although he was with us for a few months last season, he didn't have the traditional year, 9-month buildup that can really help a young player like him. So a lot of what you see, he did really starting from scratch here in September. But today's game, in some really pivotal moments when maybe his teammates didn't have the offensive confidence, he showed up really, really big. And that's why I'm not going to cave in to the narrative that we didn't finish games. I mean, look, at USC, part of finishing that game is parading to the foul line. And instead of it being a tough game that goes to the wire, you put them away. And James was a big part of that as well. So at the end of games, finishing games, there's a lot of ways you can do it. For example, at UCLA, there's not a better example of us not finishing a game properly. And a game that was tough at half, tough through the first 4 minutes of the second half, we really let it get away from us because we just could not stop. We didn't have any fight in us down the stretch of that game. So tonight it was good to see us be able to break through and leave with a win.
Steve Rivera, you're next. Steve?
Yeah, Sean, you answered one of my questions. Where would you be without Akinjo? But where would you be without Azuolas as well? These two guys really showed up, and they've showed up a lot this year.
Well, you know, Azuolas, he made the game-winning shot, so we'll start there. But if you look at the stat sheet, you know, not a lot of freshmen get 16 points and 15 rebounds. And if you just really look at his overall play over the last 6 weeks, you know, like James being an all Pac-12 player, you know, I think Azuolas is one of the conference's best freshmen. And, you know, it's up to me and our staff moving forward to put him in a better position on defense. He struggled tonight on defense, as did our entire team. But he'll get better just through maturity and growth and experience. But he's also 6'9", 240. And there are just certain teams you play in college when they have the court spread like Washington did here tonight. We're asking him to do a lot. And it's up to us to put him in a better position to be successful on defense and yet allow him to be, I think, who he really is on offense. And, you know, he's certainly a unique and a very, very good offensive player.
And Sean, you didn't shoot the ball relatively well from the three-point line, but you still pull this off. What does it say about that?
Well, there's a lot of ways to win. You know, we've been in some hard fights. We're not going to get any credit for playing Oregon tough. We didn't win, you know, and we're not going to get credit for going to Colorado and really overcoming that 19-2 deficit. We didn't win. You know, it's at the end of the day, did you or did you not? Today's category, I would just say we didn't perform well. Defensively, we were subpar. And I have to give credit, tip my hat to Washington. They came in here with nothing to lose, some house money. Guys played free. They drove the ball. They spread the court. They had a couple guys go hot from three. And in 40 minutes in college basketball, especially in conference play, you know, anything can happen. Terrell, in some ways he might have wanted it to play well too good tonight. He's from Seattle. This is his final home game, at least of this season. He's honored before the game. I think it's the first time his family's been able to actually see him play live. And I never really saw him relax out there. We really had to overcome, 1 for 11 from the floor, 0 for 6. That's not how he's been all year. So being able to win, and in spite of that, Kerr, he had the groin situation. I've yet to see a young player not practice 4 or 5 days and then all of a sudden show up on game night and be ready to go. And, you look at him between Kerr and Terrell, they went 2 for 16 from the floor, and they went 1 for 10 from 3. So that's also part of the storyline. But I'm thrilled to win. I'm not relieved that we won. I'm more really excited, and I'm happy that Azuolas was able to make that shot.
Bruce Pascoe, you're next. Bruce.
Sean, on that last play, did you want Azuolas to pop out like that, or did you want him, was there an option to have him kind of around the rim to maybe collect a putback or something like that? How did that play out?
Well, he was where he was supposed to be. We have a lot of offensive sets that put him in the corner. I mean, Azuolas is a capable three-point shooter. He's not our best, but he's capable. But he's also a guy that has a lot of confidence, and being that he's out beyond the three-point line, he's still able to run in and get a tip in, a second shot. So that was our thinking there. And I'm glad he made the shot. I mean, again, there's always positive thoughts and things you can say when the ball goes in. If he missed that shot, you could easily say, hey, another close loss, coach. You guys don't execute at the end of the game. But so much of it is, did the ball go in or not?
All right. You had at this point with Kerr late in the game, I mean, it's almost like, do you look, especially when he's a little off shooting wise, are you looking for him to take a charge like that? Do you almost figure that that's a possibility as much as him hitting a three?
Yeah, I mean, Kerr, a lot like TJ McConnell, he has great instincts in terms of drawing charges and making plays like that on defense. That's why he was in the game. We trusted him a little more. But, we have a number of guys that, stand 6'2", 178 pounds. That doesn't work. That's like a defensive lineman, 6'2", 205. It just doesn't work. I mean, Kerr's got to get bigger and stronger, and we have a number of our younger guys that have to. And when they do, they'll be better defensively. Kerr did a great job on that particular play, but I thought our perimeter players in general had a really hard time defending Washington's perimeter players.
Okay.
And we'll end with Brian Peterson, Arizona Desert Swarm. Brian?
13 offensive rebounds, 18 to 3, second chance points. Didn't have as much of an impact in the second half, but in the first half, it pretty much kept you guys going offensively. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, Brian, you're exactly right. The two stats that I refer to a lot are turnovers, 10 or fewer. And again, in the second half, we had a couple head-scratching types of turnovers. Turnovers that we normally don't have, that, the pressure of the game, the pressure of this being the last game, the pressure of losing to a team that is at the bottom of the standings. It starts to build against you. And, I felt that way for our team in the second half. But at the end of the day, to play with 10 or fewer is really good. And, our strength, when you get 13 second shots and they get 3, and you get 41 rebounds to their 29, those two statistics are overwhelmingly in our favor. And they also had 13 turnovers to our 10. But I would say that the last part about today's game is we also really went to the free throw line and converted. I mean, we went there 24 times, but we converted 21 of them. So free throw shooting, offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, and turnovers, in spite of, what I talked about with some shooting and defense, carried us at least to the finish line today.
Thank you.
One last final question, Bruce. Bruce?
Yeah, Sean, I was just wondering, it seemed like this would be kind of maybe you know, your classic ending to the regular season, but now you got to go to Oregon for this game. How do you turn around and deal with that, at least, you know, emotionally and everything? How does it sit with you guys? Or maybe is it a good thing that it's Oregon, a team that I'm sure the guys probably want to beat at this point?
Yeah, I think our guys are really excited, Bruce, to go to Oregon. You know, I'm not just giving you that. I mean, we've talked to them. I think I got a good feel. I mean, if you're them, it either ends today or it ends at Oregon on Monday.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, they're excited to play against a really good team, a team that's beaten us 6 times in a row. You know, a team that's beaten us on the last possession of the game. I think almost really the last 3 times we played them. We know they're really good. They're playing for a lot. And so the group that we have, I don't think I have to give them a pep talk. But I will tell you, we have to play a lot better on Monday night than we did here today.
Okay. And that possibility of a non-conference game, is that out at this point, or is that still a possibility?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely at 0% because we have the capability of playing. It's just, you know, the teams don't have a lot of room to schedule us. You know, they're either in their conference tournament, their season's over, they're at their full allotment of games, or they'll play us, but you know, they want us to play there. I don't know, especially on the heels of going to Oregon, if we want to now fly to another place. So there's a lot that we're looking at. Is it a possibility? It is, but I don't think it's a very probable.
Okay.
A probable state. If one fell in our lap, we would love to play a game, but I just, it doesn't look good as we've investigated the opportunities. And I think the last thing that I want to do is just schedule a game to schedule it, and not have something more to the game than just, you know, hey, let's play another game and see if we can get another win. I think it has to be the right opponent, or else, you know, we move to the off season and look forward to the future.
Right. Do you think you'll know by Monday before the game, so you know whether this is it or not, that kind of thing? I mean,
no, but I will tell you this, Bruce. We'll let you know the second it happens.
no, I just mean, like, you know, to have the players are know, you know, say you play Oregon and then after the game they don't know, are we playing another one or are we not? You know, that kind of thing.
That's kind of how this season's gone, as you know. You know, it's, I think we talked 7-10 days ago. I didn't even know that we were going to play Oregon. No one really shared that. And then once the Pac-12 released the schedule, we kind of found out around that same time. So with this last one, I'm not sure when or if we'll know, but as soon as we do, one way or the other, we'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Coach.